So how did I get my start? So I've never not answered this question without first saying Joe Ryan and his sister got me started, right? I mean, so I went to real estate school in person because it was in person back then. There was no online version of real estate. And I did the 5 days one week, 4 days the next week curriculum. And then on that Friday you test. And I remember going home and telling my wife, I was like, oh, hell no, I ain't doing this. She's like, what are you talking about? We spent 500 hours on the course. It wasn't free then either, right? We had to pay money.
Wow.
And then she says, why not? And I said, it's just the stuff in the class was boring to me. It was, meets and bounds and
Yeah.
nothing about real estate. When you take that class, it's all about the laws and ethics, which is good stuff to know, but it just didn't interest me at all. So I studied so hard though. Every day I would come home and my wife's a great wife and we have 4 children. She's like, every night I'm like, I'm going up in the bedroom, I'm just going to study. Flashcards, whatever, Quizlets. I didn't even know. Here I am, 40 some years old. I'm like, I haven't been in college in years. I didn't have to do all this stuff. But anyway, so I think I waited a week or 2 to take the test. And I literally called my wife at the testing center and I said, I don't want to do it. She's like, take the test. It was in Bordentown, New Jersey. I'm sitting in the parking lot. My time's coming up to go in and take the test in the room. She says, just take the test. I was like, if I pass the test, I'll do real estate. But if I fail it, I'm not taking it again. It's like, fine.
Okay.
So I call her an hour later, whatever it was. I was like, I passed. And
Of
she's
course
like,
you did.
congratulations, of course you passed. I was like, miserable that I passed.
Yeah.
Like, it's supposed to be a good thing and I'm miserable. So I ended up interviewing, I won't say what brokerage, but I ended up interviewing another brokerage, right? Because as an agent, we're interviewing the brokerage. They're not interviewing us. Anyone will take you. They'll gladly have you on board. So I'm interviewing a brokerage there in Cherry Hill. It was not a KW office. And I sit down with this lady. She was the broker of record. And she's like ripping her hair out frantically, like on the phone. And blah, blah, blah. I was like, can I just ask you a question? She's like, yeah. I was like, am I bothering you? It's like, why would you ask that? I said, I can't get a word in. Like, they're trying to interview you and you're talking to clients on the phone. She goes, this is real estate. I said, well, then real estate's not for me. And I got up and left.